Some towns in America are so desperate for people, they'll basically bribe you to move in. Free land, cash bonuses, parades, maybe even a check every time your kid takes a first step. No, it's not a scam. It's a thing. And if you think real estate only exists in overpriced cities with traffic jams, soaring rents, and coffee that costs more than a tank of gas, think again. Welcome to the strangest real estate market you've probably never heard of. While everyone's doom-scrolling Zillow and muttering about sky-high mortgage rates, a quiet land grab is happening in places so small, even Google Maps asks if you're sure you typed it right. These towns want you there so badly, they'll literally roll out the welcome mat, wave at your kids, and maybe name a street after your dog. We're talking free plots, cash for babies, hometown parades just for existing, and even towns that cap how big your house can be. Because apparently, community matters more than ego. This isn't just some quirky rural dream. It's real. And it's happening right now. And here's the kicker. Some of these towns aren't total ghost towns. They've got jobs, schools, lakes, rivers, fiber internet, and yes, enough donuts to fuel a small army of remote workers. Others? Well, let's just say you might meet a friendly raccoon, a UFO enthusiast, or a singing tree. But that's part of the charm. Over the next few minutes, we're counting down 10 towns practically giving away land in 2025, ranked by how quirky, brilliant, or downright bizarre they are. From parade-throwing Nebraska villages to Minnesota towns where the only crime is a jaywalking squirrel, you're about to see places that are redefining move-in ready. So if you've ever dreamed of escaping the chaos, living debt-free, or raising a family without breaking the bank, or just want to see towns so wild you'll have to double-check if this is real life, stick around. By the end of this countdown, you'll be plotting your next relocation like a prospector in the gold rush, except instead of gold, it's dirt, pies, and some seriously generous incentives. 10. Marquette, Kansas. RVers welcome. Build for free. Marquette, Kansas is the kind of town that makes you question whether small-town charm is a real estate scam, or the genuine American dream in disguise. Population? About 1,300 souls, who mostly know each other's birthdays, pets, and preferred pie flavors. But Marquette isn't just charming. It's practically paying you to set roots. The town offers free residential lots to anyone willing to build a home, or even settle with an RV for the long term. Yes, you read that right. In Marquette, you don't even need a full house to get started. RV-friendly plots mean you can dip your toes into small-town life without committing to mortgage anxiety. Utilities? Hooked up. Water? Clean. Neighbors? Friendly, but probably judging your RV decor choices. Financially, Marquette is a steal. Median home price sits around $110,000, and median rent hovers near $600 per month. Cost of living is roughly 25% below the national average, making it a magnet for retirees, remote workers, and anyone who wants to escape sky-high rents. Crime? Almost non-existent. You're more likely to be woken up by a rooster than a siren. Reddit users report experiences like, moved here for free land, stayed because the sunsets make my Instagram look professional, and now I'm on a first-name basis with every diner owner. Jobs are mostly local: agriculture, small business, and a sprinkling of remote-friendly work. If you're a remote worker or digital nomad, Marquette is slowly becoming a hidden hotspot. Fiber optic internet isn't everywhere, but it's fast enough for streaming, Zoom meetings, or even uploading those TikTok drone shots of your new front yard.
Lifestyle quirks are pure Midwestern gold.
Streets are quiet, coffee shops double as post offices, and town events are wholesome and hilarious. Think pumpkin festivals, pie contests, and local parades where the marching band occasionally gets lost in the cornfields. Outdoor recreation is everywhere. Fishing, kayaking, hiking, and wandering along the banks of the Kansas River. It's also a town where your kids can safely ride bikes without fear, and retirees can finally enjoy the peace they were promised on that brochure. The vibe? Picture waking up on your free plot of land, stepping outside with your morning coffee and smelling freshly cut grass, baked bread from a neighbor's oven, and just quiet. Nature is literally your roommate, and the closest thing to traffic is the occasional tractor moseying down Main Street. Marquette isn't just giving away land, it's selling a lifestyle. Affordable living, community spirit, and a chance to slow down in a way that urban life has long forgotten. If your dream is wide open skies, friendly neighbors, and the freedom to live your best small-town life, Marquette might just be the plot of land and life you've been waiting for. Marquette gives you land, but the next name on this list gives you a post-rock reputation with it. Hold on to your guitars, people. 9. Lincoln, Kansas, the post-rock capital giving away land. Lincoln, Kansas is one of those towns that sounds like it should be hosting music festivals, but instead, it's quietly handing out free land to anyone willing to build a home. With a population just over 1,100 people, this isn't a bustling metropolis. Think wide streets, zero traffic lights, and neighbors who wave like it's an Olympic sport. The town proudly calls itself the post-rock capital of Kansas. And no, it's not a new indie band. It's actually named for the unique limestone fence posts scattered across the countryside, which date back to the late 1800s. Walk around Lincoln long enough and you're basically walking through a living history lesson, complete with quirky architecture and an appreciation for slow, steady life. Here's the real kicker. The free land program is legit. Vacant lots with full utilities are up for grabs. But there's a catch, of course. You have to start building within 6 months and finish within 18 months, and the home must be a single-family dwelling. Tiny houses or shipping container art projects? Sorry, the town isn't ready for avant-garde chaos yet. They like their new residents like they like their limestone. Solid and reliable. Money-wise, Lincoln is ridiculously affordable. The median home price is around $82,000. Median rent hovers at $500 per month, and the cost of living is roughly 29% below the national average. Violent crime? Basically non-existent. The biggest danger you'll face might be getting too attached to a raccoon that keeps stealing your trash. Reddit users who moved here rave about the peace and space. Moved here for free land. Now I mow more grass than I talk to humans. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Jobs lean local. Agriculture, small business, and commuting to nearby towns. Though remote workers are slowly discovering Lincoln as a quiet, affordable base. Internet speeds aren't Chicago level, but they're good enough to stream, work, or Zoom your mom without pulling your hair out. Whew. Lifestyle quirks? Oh, there are plenty. Kansas wind is no joke. 1 minute your coffee is hot, the next it's on the next county. Nightlife consists of 2 diners closing at 6 p.m., both serving identical meatloaf. Trust me, you'll try both. Grocery stores are modest, but the charm more than makes up for the lack of Trader Joe's. Community events are wholesome, neighborly, and sometimes hilarious. Think pancake breakfasts, parades for local pets, and 4th of July fireworks you can see from your backyard. And here's the thing. The free land is the bait, but the lifestyle is the hook. You'll wake up to golden wheat fields, chirping birds, and a sense of peace you didn't realize you'd been missing. Compare that to city life, where your alarm is sirens and your neighbor's bass is therapy for them, but torture for you. Lincoln is safer than Portland, Maine, statistically and spiritually. So, would you build a home from scratch on free land in a town that's small, windy, and obsessed with limestone posts? If you like space, safety, and a touch of Midwestern charm, Lincoln isn't just giving away dirt. It's giving you a chance to escape chaos and build something real. Lincoln is peaceful, but the next town is ready to throw you a parade for showing up. Confetti not included. Well, maybe. 8. Curtis, Nebraska. Parade for just showing up. Curtis, Nebraska is the kind of town that makes you wonder if Hallmark secretly runs a branch office here. Population? About 800 people, give or take a friendly handshake. But don't let its tiny size fool you. Curtis has mastered the art of making newcomers feel epically celebrated. How? They literally throw you a parade for moving in. Yep, you build a house, plant a mailbox, and suddenly there's a marching band, confetti, and neighbors waving like they just spotted Beyoncé in town. The town's Curtis Land Incentive Program is as straightforward as it sounds. You claim a vacant residential lot, build a home within a year, and voila! Your new life begins with a parade. Utilities? Hooked up. Streets? Paved. Community? Eager to meet you and probably judge your lawn gnome choices. Financially, Curtis is absurdly friendly. The median home price sits around $100,000. Average rent is about $550 per month, and the cost of living is roughly 26% below the national average. Crime? Almost non-existent. Seriously, the town's most controversial story last year involved a raccoon breaking into the school library. That's it. You could literally leave your doors unlocked and just hope the wind doesn't rearrange your garden gnomes. Jobs are mostly local: agriculture, small business, and regional commuting. But the town is also slowly embracing remote workers. Fiber internet is rare, but decent enough to Zoom, stream, or binge-watch your favorite series without rage quitting. Lifestyle in Curtis is quaint. Streets are quiet. Local cafes serve coffee with a side of small-town gossip, and yes, mosquitoes are still a thing, but they fly like they're auditioning for Top Gun. Grocery options are limited, and if you want anything fancy, you'll have to drive to a nearby city. But honestly, why would you leave? You've got your own parade now. Community events are pure Curtis magic. From pancake breakfasts to Easter egg hunts to 4th of July celebrations, life here is a constant, wholesome sitcom. Locals will wave, offer freshly baked pies, and invite you to potlucks like you've been neighbors forever. And yes, that parade for newcomers? It's basically Curtis saying, "Welcome. We've been waiting for you." And yes, we hope you stay forever. Curtis also has that Midwest charm. Wide open skies, golden prairies, and sunsets that make your smartphone camera weep. Nature is at your doorstep. Fishing, hiking, and casual wanderings through fields that once belonged to your great-great-grandparents. And if the quiet gets too intense, you can always peek in on the raccoon library scandal for a chuckle. So, would you move to a town that throws a parade just for existing? Free land, low costs, community spirit, and small-town charm make Curtis a no-brainer if you're looking to escape urban chaos. And here's the kicker. In Curtis, you're not just buying a house. You're buying an experience, complete with confetti. If Curtis gives you a welcome parade, Elwood hands you a paycheck for your kids. Babies are the new Bitcoin. 7. Elwood, Nebraska, the baby bonus capital. Elwood is a tiny village of around 700 people tucked beside the Elwood Reservoir. On the surface, it looks like the kind of place you'd only stop if your gas tank was empty or you needed a good fishing spot. But look closer, and you'll see it's basically bribing people to move in and raise families. Here's the deal. Build on free residential land, and the town will sweeten the pot by paying up to $5,000 per child born and raised locally. Yes, you heard that right. Babies equals bonuses. Think of it as Nebraska's version of a loyalty program. The economics are wild. Median home price is just $15,000, about the price of a used Toyota. Median rent hovers around $540, and the overall cost of living is 28% below the US average. You're not breaking the bank here. You're breaking free from rent traps in big cities. Crime? Basically non-existent. The most dangerous thing you'll run into is a rogue garden hose or maybe a slightly overprotective rooster. Employment leans rural: agriculture, education, and commuting to nearby Holdridge or Lexington. But here's the kicker. Remote workers are discovering Elwood too. Reddit threads rave about people scooping up land, building modest homes, and suddenly having money left over for, well, more kids. One local even joked, "I got land, 2 kids, and a garage in Elwood." My wife says we're breeding for bonuses. And yeah, it's working.
It's not all baby showers and fishing trips, though. The town is windy, like stroller blowing into Kansas windy. There's only one coffee shop, which doubles as a hardware store and closes at 3 p.m. And the train horn? It will wake your baby every time, guaranteed. But picture this. You build a debt-free home on free land. Your kid plays in a safe yard. A neighbor drops off fresh eggs, while another reminds you your baby just made you $5,000 richer. The air smells like soil, coffee, and opportunity. Compared to being broke in New York, thriving in Elwood sounds like a winning trade. Fun fact, Elwood has one of the highest per capita baby bonus payouts in the entire US. Translation? It's literally paying families to stick around. If you're looking for a mix of old-school safety and new-age economic hacks, Elwood is a strange but smart move. Elwood pays for diapers, but Pawnee, our next town, just might pay you in quiet and endless cornfields. Spoiler? Corn is cheaper than a coffee in Manhattan. Number 6. Pawnee, Nebraska.
Pawnee is one of those towns that sounds like it should exist only in a sitcom, or maybe a mid-2000s sitcom reboot. But it's very real, very rural, and very generous if you know where to look. Population clocks in around 1,100 people, which means if you sneeze, everyone hears it, and probably offers you a handkerchief or a pie. Situated in southern Nebraska, the town is a mix of open fields, friendly neighbors, and surprisingly aggressive enthusiasm for population growth. Here's the deal. Pawnee has started offering free residential lots to newcomers willing to build a home. But they didn't stop there. They want people who are invested, literally and figuratively, in the community. Build a home, register your family, maybe participate in a town event or two, and the local government may sweeten the pot with small grants or incentives to get you settled. Think of it as Nebraska's version of a welcome wagon. On steroids. Economically, it's a bargain hunter's paradise. The median home price hovers around $48,000, while median rent is roughly $475 per month, and the cost of living is 25% below the national average. Your wallet will breathe easy here. Crime? You'd be more likely to argue with a cow than face real danger. Violent crime is practically non-existent. The town's crime stats read like they were written by someone who got bored halfway through the sheet. Employment in Pawnee is what you'd expect: agriculture, local services, small businesses, and a growing number of remote work setups. Locals are discovering that Pawnee's free land, combined with affordable utilities and fiber internet, is a sweet combo for people looking to escape the rent trap and city chaos. Reddit users have joked about moving there, building a modest farmhouse, and having enough leftover cash to actually enjoy life, like buying a tractor just because.
But Pawnee isn't all spreadsheets and savings. Winters are brutal, with wind gusts that make you question if your new porch is secretly a wind tunnel. Summer brings cornfields that smell like success, or maybe fertilizer, depends on your mood. The nearest Starbucks is about an hour away, which means your pumpkin spice latte dreams may need to be postponed. But locals will happily hand you a slice of homemade pie while you wait for the coffee bus to roll in. Imagine it. You step outside your brand new, debt-free home. Breathe in fresh prairie air. Watch the corn sway like a low-budget music video. And wave to neighbors who genuinely remember your name. Your land is free. Your home is yours. And for once, your bank account isn't crying every month. Compared to living in a cramped apartment in Chicago or New York, Pawnee is basically a cheat code for adulting. Fun fact, Pawnee has one of the highest proportions of free residential lots per capita in Nebraska, and locals are proud. This isn't just charity, it's a calculated bet on the future of the town. Move here, build a life, maybe start a family, and you'll find yourself living the quiet, debt-free dream, while your friends back in the city are still negotiating rent hikes. All right, let's take a quick breather. So far, we've covered Marquette, where RVs are welcome and land is practically free. Lincoln, the post-rock capital, giving away plots faster than you can say cornfield. Curtis, where moving in earns you a full-blown parade. Elwood, Nebraska's very own baby bonus capital. And Pawnee, a bargain hunter's true paradise. Each place is charming, quirky, and financially tempting in ways that make your overpriced city apartment look downright tragic. We've seen tiny towns handing out plots like candy, quirky perks like cash for kids, and more small-town character than a Hallmark movie festival. And here's the deal. What comes next only gets stranger, and somehow even more generous. We're diving into towns where free land meets lakeside charm, Polish festivals, UFO sightings, and city perks for underpriced homes. Think of it as the sequel, where the stakes get higher, the rewards get bigger, and your relocation FOMO hits maximum overdrive. Next, we drift to Manila, where the scenery is so good, even your phone won't believe it.
5. Manila, Iowa. Manila, Iowa is the kind of place that makes you question why anyone ever bothers with traffic jams, overpriced lattes, or Instagrammable chaos. Population sits at around 1,200, so when someone waves at you, they mean it. Like, "Welcome to the club, neighbor," kind of sincerity. Nestled in central Iowa, this town is surrounded by rolling farmland, cornfields that go on forever, and a sky so wide it makes your city apartment feel like a sardine can. Here's the kicker. Manila wants people. Like, really wants people. The town is offering free residential lots as part of an economic revitalization effort. Build your house, stick around, and you might even qualify for small incentives like tax breaks or infrastructure grants. Locals will tell you, "We don't care if you're a teacher, remote worker, or a full-time TikTok farmer. We just want you to call Manila home." That's a level of desperation wrapped in Midwestern charm you can't fake. Economically, it's a dream for anyone tired of paying an arm and a leg to exist in major metros. The median home price is around $50,000, median rent is roughly $480, and the cost of living is 27% below the national average. Your paycheck actually feels like a paycheck here. Violent crime? Nearly zero. Property crime? Practically unheard of. The worst you'll deal with is a cow wandering onto your yard, or someone cutting the wrong corner of your hedge. Redditors joke that moving here is like entering a safe zone cheat code for life. Employment is classically small-town Iowa. Farming, local services, light manufacturing, and a surprisingly robust group of remote workers taking advantage of fiber internet and ultra-low housing costs. One Reddit user quipped, "Moved for the free land. Stayed because the corn grows taller than my city apartment ever did." Also, my Wi-Fi actually works. It's true. Manila's broadband infrastructure is surprisingly solid for a town that's basically giving away plots of land. Life in Manila isn't all spreadsheets and savings, though. Winter winds can make your eyelashes freeze mid-blink, while summer brings mosquitoes with the persistence of a LinkedIn recruiter. There's one grocery store, a single coffee shop, don't expect barista artistry, and the nearest chain restaurants are a 20-minute drive. But that's the point. Manila's charm is its slow, deliberate pace of life, where neighbors drop off apple pies instead of unsolicited advice, and local events feel like family reunions everyone actually wants to attend. Picture it. You step onto your free lot, breathe in the scent of freshly tilled soil mixed with morning coffee, and wave at the same friendly neighbors who probably know your dog's name. You're building a debt-free home, raising a family, or just enjoying the quiet you never realized you craved. Compared to living in a city where community means liking each other's Facebook posts, Manila is basically an IRL safe haven. Fun fact, Manila's free land program has been around long enough to attract people from all over the Midwest, and even some remote workers from the coasts. Move here, build, thrive. And you might just realize that the simple, quiet, affordable life you've been daydreaming about isn't a fantasy. It's Midwestern reality. Manila is charming, but the next town enforces home-size limits, and you'll thank them for it.
4. New Richland, Minnesota. New Richland, Minnesota is the kind of small town that seems to exist in a parallel universe where everyone actually knows your name, and nobody cares about your Wi-Fi password. With a population of about 1,200, this town sits roughly 90 miles south of Minneapolis, giving you that sweet balance of rural calm with a city escape within driving distance. Open fields, historic brick buildings, and lakes that glint like someone photoshopped them into real life set the scene. But here's the kicker. The town isn't just cute, it's actively paying people to build homes. The city offers free residential lots with one bold stipulation. Home sizes are capped. Forget McMansions or sprawling estates. New Richland's motto might as well be, keep it cozy, keep it neighborly. It's a move that's as genius as it is subtle. By limiting house size, the town preserves charm, encourages community, and keeps property taxes manageable. Build your modest dream home, settle in, and join a town that's really, really serious about chill. Financially, it's a steal. The median home price sits around $150,000, median rent is about $750, and the cost of living is 18% below the national average. Crime is so low it's almost comical. Petty theft is about the worst thing you'll need to worry about. Employment is mostly agriculture, healthcare, and local services, with plenty of opportunities for remote work, thanks to solid broadband coverage. Reddit users rave about building a small home on a free lot, walking out their front door, and literally waving at everyone they see. Mandatory chill included. Life in New Richland comes with perks that aren't on Zillow. Local events like Lawn Chair Fridays, yes, that's a thing, encourage neighbors to gather, socialize, and actually interact. Libraries, parks, and small businesses are within walking distance, and the town's civic vibe leans hard into friendliness without being overbearing. You might step outside to see someone dropping off fresh cinnamon rolls, or a neighbor borrowing your rake and returning it with a pie. This is the kind of slow, wholesome life you didn't realize you were craving while scrolling endless city feeds. Winter isn't exactly mild. Minnesota knows how to hit you with snow, ice, and winds that make your eyelashes freeze, but locals treat it like a badge of honor. Summer is peaceful, the kind of season where kids ride bikes, neighbors wave, and lakes become the unofficial town social club. Coffee shops close early, music parties involve real plates instead of digital playlists, and fences are discouraged, because why put up walls when the community itself is your perimeter? Picture it. You build a cozy, debt-free home on a free lot, wake up to crisp morning air, sip coffee on a modest porch, and watch the town's quiet rhythm play out around you. Your neighbors are your neighbors, not just avatars on social media. You're not just saving money, you're gaining space, safety, and sanity. Fun fact, New Richland's lot giveaway isn't just about population growth. It's a calculated, charmingly controlled experiment in community building. Build a home, stay friendly, and suddenly you're part of a town that values presence over pretension, neighborliness over notoriety, and small homes over inflated egos. It's a quirky, brilliantly simple formula for long-term happiness and security. Plus, free land, which is always nice. New Richland keeps it cozy. Mankato ups the ante with city conveniences without the city prices. Fiber internet meets cornfield charm. 3. Mankato, Kansas. Free lots, small town hustle. Mankato is one of those places you've probably never heard of unless your grandma grew up there or your car broke down on a cross-country trip. Nestled in north-central Kansas, population hovering just over 800 people, Mankato is small. Like, the mayor probably also coaches Little League and bags groceries on weekends, small. But here's the hook. They'll straight up hand you a free residential lot if you're willing to build and stick around. The town's official tagline might as well be, "Please live here, we'll throw in the dirt." And honestly, not a bad deal. The lots come fully serviced, water, sewer, and electricity hookups already there. That means you don't have to bribe your cousin with a backhoe to get started. The catch? You've got to build within a certain time frame, usually a year. This isn't a squatter's paradise. It's a build-it-and-stay kind of arrangement. Here's the money talk. Average home price in Mankato is $76,000. Median rent sits around $600, and the cost of living is about 30% below the US average. Translation? Your paycheck stretches further than the town's main street, which, to be fair, isn't very far. Jobs lean heavily on healthcare, education, and agriculture, though remote workers have been quietly invading thanks to stable internet options. Lifestyle? Think slow mornings, church potlucks, and neighbors who actually wave when you drive by. For outdoorsy types, you've got fishing, hunting, and more sunsets than your phone storage can handle. For city people, the nearest big city is Salina, about 90 minutes away. That's where you'll find chain restaurants and the nearest Starbucks. Yes, Starbucks. Because no, Mankato doesn't have one. It has Casey's General Store, which locals will defend as the real Starbucks of Kansas. Now, before you pack your bags, here are the quirks. The nightlife is non-existent, unless you count stargazing and arguing about high school football. Grocery selection? Limited. Amazon delivery? Slow enough that you'll forget you even ordered that blender. And if you're a foodie, good luck. The town's idea of fusion cuisine is probably chili with extra cheese. But let's be real, Mankato doesn't need rooftop bars or Michelin stars. It's selling peace, community, and the kind of safety where you can leave your front door unlocked without a second thought. If you're tired of sirens and traffic jams, imagine swapping that chaos for crickets and front porch conversations. Fun fact, Mankato's free land program has been running for years, and people actually take it. One transplant summed it up best. "I moved here for the free lot, stayed for the people, and now I'm basically the town's IT guy." That's Mankato in a nutshell. You arrive for the incentives, but you end up being part of the small town ecosystem, whether you like it or not. So yeah, free land, low costs, and a built-in community that wants you there. If Elwood is paying you to have kids, Mankato is handing you dirt and saying, "Please, just stay." And honestly, it works. Number 2, Claremont, Minnesota. Claremont, Minnesota is the kind of town that feels like it was designed by someone who loves quiet streets, classic brick facades, and neighbors who actually say hello.
With a population hovering around 1,300, it sits in southern Minnesota, surrounded by farmland, small lakes, and skies so big they make city skylines feel claustrophobic. But Claremont isn't just scenic. It's actively encouraging newcomers to plant roots with one of the most unusual incentives in the Midwest: free residential lots. Build a home, move in, and suddenly you're part of a community that treats new residents like VIPs. The town's history adds an extra layer of charm. Founded in the 19th century as a railway hub, Claremont still has that old-time Americana vibe. Vintage train depots, brick main streets, and historic architecture that gives the place character without turning it into a museum. Local festivals celebrate everything from corn harvests to antique tractors, giving newcomers a perfect introduction to small-town traditions while keeping life surprisingly social. Economically, Claremont is incredibly affordable. The median home price is roughly $120,000. Median rent comes in around $600, and the cost of living is about 25% below the national average. Crime is minimal. Think more forgot your keys on the porch than anything resembling real danger. Employment centers around agriculture, light manufacturing, local businesses, and some remote work opportunities, making it ideal for those who want to escape the chaos of urban life but still maintain a paycheck. Reddit threads highlight newcomers building homes, waving at neighbors, and commenting on how their biggest traffic jam is a slow-moving tractor. Life in Claremont comes with all the small-town perks you didn't realize you missed. Community events are frequent, locals still remember names, and public spaces like parks and lakes are maintained with care. Schools are well rated for the size of the district, making it appealing for families considering a move. There's a single coffee shop, a hardware store, and a couple of diners where the waitstaff might just know your order before you sit down. It's the slow, deliberate life you dream about, but never quite find in cities.
Weather is classic Minnesota. Winters hit hard, with snow, ice, and wind that makes city sidewalks look tame. Summers are mild, perfect for fishing, kayaking, or lounging in your backyard without worrying about noise complaints. If you like your lifestyle peaceful but community-driven, Claremont is a sweet spot. Small enough to feel personal, large enough to avoid complete isolation. Picture it. You step onto your free lot, sip coffee on your porch, watch the morning fog roll over fields, and wave at neighbors who genuinely smile back. You're building a debt-free home, gaining space, and embracing a pace of life that lets you actually breathe. Even mundane errands, like grocery shopping or mailing a package, come with neighborly chats, creating a sense of belonging you can't swipe for. Fun fact: Claremont's lot program isn't just about numbers. It's about cultivating community over clout. New residents are encouraged to integrate, participate, and stay, making this one of the few small towns where free land meets smart social engineering. It's charming, affordable, and just quirky enough to make you think, why didn't I move here sooner? Claremont is peaceful, but our final city, Tulsa, throws cash, land, and tacos at anyone willing to relocate. It's basically a relocation party with Wi-Fi. 1. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa, Oklahoma is not your typical tiny town giving away land, but stick with me. It's got one of the most generous urban relocation programs in the US, and it's seriously worth a look. With a population of around 400,000, Tulsa is a city with a rich oil history, a blossoming arts scene, and enough quirks to keep even the most skeptical newcomers entertained. Once known as America's oil capital, Tulsa has reinvented itself as a hub for remote workers, creatives, and anyone willing to try a new city that actually pays you to move there. The centerpiece is the Tulsa Remote Program, launched to attract out-of-state talent. Here's the deal. If you relocate to the city and work remotely, you can receive $10,000 in grants, distributed as stipends for rent, co-working space, and lifestyle expenses. On top of that,
Select suburban and satellite neighborhoods, like Sand Springs and Broken Arrow, sometimes offer free or heavily discounted residential lots if you commit to building a home within a year. This isn't just a gimmick. The city genuinely wants people who will live, work, and spend locally, not just pop in for a weekend. Tulsa's affordability is a major draw. The median home price is about $190,000, and median rent sits around $1,150. The cost of living is roughly 11% below the national average, which, combined with cash incentives, means newcomers can seriously boost savings or invest in home upgrades. Crime is higher than some of the tiny towns on our list. The violent crime index sits around 49.6 versus a national average of 22.7, so you'll want to do a bit of homework on specific neighborhoods. But many remote workers report feeling perfectly safe, especially in the suburbs where free or cheap lots are offered.
Life in Tulsa is a mix of Midwestern charm and urban convenience. You get 4 seasons in full effect: spring tornado warnings, summer heat, fall leaves, and winter frost. But also a city that's invested in co-working spaces, arts districts, and food culture. The River Parks area, Brady Arts District, and Cherry Street neighborhoods give you coffee shops, local boutiques, and some of the best barbecue you'll ever taste. Reddit users consistently mention that moving for the cash is great, but staying for the backyard space, neighborly energy, and quirky local festivals is what makes it stick. Employment is robust beyond remote work. Tulsa has a strong presence in finance, energy, tech, and healthcare, making it a city where both traditional jobs and modern digital work can thrive. The city also offers tax incentives for certain relocations, and the public school system is steadily improving, making it attractive to families who want city perks without the crushing costs of New York or San Francisco. Picture this. You move into a brand new home on a subsidized lot. Your mortgage is manageable, you stroll down streets lined with mid-century brick homes and quirky coffee shops, and you realize that you're not just living, you're being paid to plant roots. Tulsa throws in city parks, lakes, and trails for exercise, leisure, or casual brunch Instagram content. You can go from urban vibes to kayaking on the Arkansas River in 15 minutes. And your neighbors are a mix of remote workers, artists, and longtime Tulsans who genuinely wave back. Fun fact, Tulsa's program is widely cited as a model for other U.S. cities trying to attract population growth and talent. Free land isn't just a number. It's part of a strategic urban revival. And you, the newcomer, get to be part of the story. Cheap living, cash bonuses, cultural perks, and enough quirky Midwestern charm to keep you entertained. That's Tulsa. For people willing to embrace city life with a twist, this is one relocation program that literally pays you to move in and thrive. And there you have it. The wildest, quirkiest, and most financially tempting towns in America, where you can literally stake a claim, build a home, and sometimes even get a check just for existing. From Elwood's baby bonuses to Tulsa's cash and dirt programs, these towns prove that opportunity isn't always in the overpriced metros or shiny skyscrapers. It's often hidden in small towns, charming villages, and quirky little cities ready to roll out the welcome mat. If anything today made you laugh, gasp, or furiously Google one of these towns, imagine what it would feel like to actually live there. That empty plot of land isn't just dirt. It's a chance at a new lifestyle, a safer community, and maybe even a little local fame. Parades, singing trees, baby bonuses, free plots, and cozy caps on house sizes. These places aren't just giving away land. They're giving away stories, memories, and a chance to reclaim a life that doesn't feel like a spreadsheet. Here's the part where you do something about it. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more videos showing crazy real estate deals, hidden gems, and the kind of places your friends will scoff at until they see the numbers. Comment below which town you'd move to first, or which one you'd never touch with a 10-foot tractor. Share this video with anyone stuck in city rent purgatory because, honestly, this info is too good to keep to yourself. And remember, the grass might actually be greener, because in these towns, they're literally paying you to plant it.